with Scott Moyer, they are the most decorated figure skaters in Olympic history and have been the dominant ice dance team over the past 10 years, winning 5 Olympic and 7 world medals. Please welcome Tessa Virtue.
London, Ontario represents.
Here we go.
Hometown girl.
I love it.
Tessa, hard to believe that this time last year you were in Pyeongchang on your way to your second gold medal. I mean, when you think of that, just a year ago, what comes to your mind?
Well, actually, 1 year ago today we had our first official practice, and so I find myself feeling a little bit nostalgic and walking down memory lane, but I can't decide whether it feels like it was a lifetime ago or whether it feels as if it was just yesterday. I've been holding on to that feeling we had when we performed those programs in Pyeongchang and just cherishing the support and the love we received from Canadians coast to coast. It was incredibly heartwarming and something we'll never forget.
Well, you certainly captivated all of Canada, much like you did in Vancouver as well. But I think for us, I was actually lucky enough to be in Vancouver. Everyone was right there. Was it different being a world away, or did you still feel all of Canada right behind you even over there?
We feel very lucky. We had sort of 4 opportunities at an Olympic Games. We were the alternates for the Torino Games. We had home Olympic Games, which is just any athlete's dream come true. We sort of had a home and away Games after then going to Russia and culminating in Korea, which I think by that point we had figured out that pressure and the added stress of maybe going in feeling as if we were defending a title or chasing that. We felt uplifted by all of that support and recognition. It didn't feel like a weight. Instead, it was as if every Canadian was on the ice with us, taking each and every glide.
Well, we certainly felt like we were. Okay, what a year it's been since then. I know you could just sit back and rest on your laurels, but you've done your Thank You Canada tour, you've been on Ellen, you've been inducted into Canada's Walk of Fame, you've been on Mr. D, you've been in Vogue. My word, when you think of all the experiences that you've had over the last year, is there one that kind of shines above the rest, or do you still sort of shake your head at everything that you've been able to enjoy?
It's been such a whirlwind, and something, as you're trying to master a craft, it's never the motivating factor. Any of those things you just listed off, magazines and awards, that's not really why you do it. There's an internal drive and a passion to be the best you can possibly be, and yet it's been so thrilling. I can't say we've had time to truly process what happened in Korea or let that percolate. We've been so incredibly busy, but one of the highlights was producing the tour, the Thank You Canada tour, and after years and years of performing in shows around the world, Scott and I finally looked at each other and thought, how can we thank Canadians? And we did it the only way we know how, which was by performing. And learning about all those facets of production and business was incredibly fulfilling, and it just added greater meaning to putting on a costume and trying to entertain.
Well, you and Scott, I mean, what a pair. Remind us all, how old were you when you were first brought together as skaters, and do you remember what you first thought? Like, who's this Scott Moore kid?
Well, I should start by saying he so wishes he could be here tonight. I'm representing the team, but he sends his love and his warm wishes. But I was 6 when I met Scott, and I started skating with him when I was 7. He was just 9 years old. I know he was a troublemaker. He was, his mom was the coach at the rink, so, he was sort of running the show. But I do know that early on we had this code of respect that our coaches helped us cultivate. And that partnership, it's been 21 years now, it's at the center of everything is just this mutual admiration, and we're each other's biggest fans. I feel so incredibly grateful we were able to accomplish all that we did together.
Well, it certainly shows. The partnership that you have just shows every time you're on the ice, and we're thrilled that you could be here to share it with us. Thank you, Tessa.